Roger and Tate are dealing with their own demons, while Jan and Andre look for more clues behind Sam's seemingly out-of-character killing spree. I'm their narrator, Chad, and this is episode 16, chapter 20 of No Evil. Let's escape. Jan scoured the internet for more details, but found them few and far between. The police hadn't released any information about how the officers died or how Sam escaped. Jan suspected it was because they didn't know. "You want any more coffee, Jan?" He had just poured himself a cup and was swirling the remainder of the coffee in the carafe as he asked her. She put a hand up to signal she didn't, and he emptied the last gritty cup into the sink. Jan watched him and slammed the laptop shut. "I can't just sit here. I can't," she said. "I know what you mean. Maybe we should visit Munson's apartment again." "Why? What more are you expecting to find there?" "Munson's missing. What if he goes back to his apartment for something?" "Are you suggesting we wait for him?" Jan sighed. She didn't think it was a great idea either. What if he's armed or something? "Maybe you should just leave it to the police to figure this shit out, Jan." "Maybe." Jan left the room and Andre heard the shower start. She returned to the doorway wearing a robe. "I'm going to shower quickly. You can use it after I'm done if you want." "Yeah, I will. Thanks." She disappeared back into the bedroom. Andre sat down and clicked on the TV. He instantly recognized a static shot of the front of Munson's building. A voice said he had been spotted at a local homeless shelter and that he had since disappeared under mysterious circumstances. What the hell does that mean? Andre wondered aloud. The shower was still going. Andre could hear Jan humming something. He was trying to figure out the tune when his cell phone rang. The caller ID indicated the call was from an unknown number. "Hello?" At first there was nothing. Then the phone clicked and Andre assumed it was a telemarketer. He heard a sigh and heavy breathing. Usually he would have hung up the phone already. But the voice on the other end began to cry. "Hello? Who is this?"
I need to tell you.
"Tell me what? Who is this?"
It's me, your dad.
Andre stood up from the couch. He walked a few steps toward the bedroom, turned, and took a few more toward the kitchen. Andre had mixed emotions about the call. He hadn't heard from his dad in so long, it may as well have been a stranger calling. At the same time, he loved him.
I'm sorry I didn't call. I couldn't. I want you to know I couldn't.
What are you talking about? You couldn't pick up a phone? How did you even get this number?
Never mind how I got it. Just listen. I can't talk long.
Fine. Talk. Andre's father hesitated, started to speak, and then stopped again. There was a long pause. The sobs stopped. He cleared his throat and began to speak again. The voice sounded more familiar now.
We didn't know what we were doing. It was an anomaly. They swore up and down that data had to be the result of a malfunction.
What the hell are you talking about?
Damn it, Andre. Just listen. For once,
Andre's father said. His voice was grave.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about everything. Had I known then what I know now, things would be different.
Okay.
There's a storm coming, Andre. I don't know what it'll mean exactly, but they're scared. The men at the top are scared.
At that moment, the line clicked and his father was gone. "Hello? Dad? Hello?" Andre went into the call history, but the number was blocked. He couldn't call back. He waited without moving for several minutes, as if moving an inch would block his phone from receiving the call. Nothing came. Andre didn't know what the hell was happening. He sat down and muted the TV. A short time later, Jan appeared fully dressed. "Hey," she said. Then she saw Andre's face. "What's wrong?"
My dad just called.
"Oh my God," Jan said as she strode to sit beside him on the couch. "What did he say?"
I don't know. It was so weird.
Man, just like he was being chased or something,
Andre said. He was like, there's some shit coming and I don't know what it means.
I'm worried. Did he say anything else? What did he mean?
I don't know.
He just said people were scared. Military people?
I guess.
He said men at the top. That doesn't sound good.
I've never heard him like that.
It was messed up. Jan, what the hell is going on around here lately?
I know.
It's just been one thing after another. First Munson.
Munson! Andre interrupted.
I almost forgot. I just heard on the news that Munson was hiding out in a homeless shelter downtown. It's called Holding Hands, something like that. You want to check it out?
Absolutely.
Jan knew Andre was changing an uncomfortable subject, but she just went with it. 15 minutes later, Andre was showered and they were on the road. Andre did a web search for the name of the place, and they followed turn-by-turn directions from his phone. They pulled up outside the shelter, parked, and Andre stepped out. Jan followed closely behind as Andre tried the door. It was locked. He tugged it again to make sure, then turned and shrugged at Jan. As he did, a woman rounded the corner from the alley and stopped when she saw them on the steps.
Can I help you?
Sorry, we're reporters from the Chronicle. Do you happen to know if the shelter is closed for the day? Jan asked politely.
Yeah, it's closed. I think we've said all we need to say.
Pardon? Do you work here? My name is Jan, she said, holding out a hand.
Jamie. Yes. We spoke to all the media around, including the Chronicle if I'm not mistaken. It was a circus down here. Too bad the shelter can't get this kind of coverage when we want it.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, Andre said. Jan shot him a look. Would you be willing to sit down and talk with us for a moment? I just want to know what happened, that's all, Jan said. Jamie agreed. She walked past them on the steps, inserted a big brass-colored key and unlocked the door. She pushed open the door, and the three of them entered. The building was dark, and Jamie flicked on several banks of fluorescent lights. They walked through rows of cots and through a double door and into a kitchen. Then she motioned towards the table in the corner.
That's where it happened.
Where what happened? Andre said.
That's where Munson disappeared.
Jamie was inside the door and gesturing as if she didn't want to venture too close to the table. Can you just take us through what happened? What did you see? Jan said.
Well, he came a day or two ago. I found him on the steps outside, nearly frozen to death. His feet were all chewed up. He spent a night.
Jamie said. Her eyes were glassy.
The next day I was sitting with him talking. He seemed nice enough. He was kind of cute even though his face was...
What? Andre said.
It was weird, to be frank. I've never seen anything like it. It was like everything above his nose was forehead. I couldn't see any eye sockets or anything, but he kept repeating he had his eyes burned out a day before.
Jen and Andre shared a look, but didn't speak. They let Jamie continue her story.
We were talking. Sam wanted to call a friend. His name was Case, I think. He said Case could vouch for his story. Then Tim, that's the manager here, came tearing and shouting about the murders.
So Munson ran away at that point? Jan said.
No, he didn't run anywhere. He disappeared in front of 25 people. Just disappeared. Poof.
She closed her hand into a fist and exploded it as she said it. Poof. You saw it? Jan said.
No. Tim had pushed me out of the kitchen away from Sam. Tim saw the whole thing, said Sam just sat there. Then in a breath, he was gone.
Is Tim available to talk? Andre said.
I don't know. I haven't seen him since. He got out of here as quick as possible after the cops left. His face, it was like he'd seen a ghost.
This whole thing must have been pretty scary for you, Jan said.
Not really. I never would have picked Sam to be a murderer. He was a little rough, but I didn't think he seemed dangerous at all.
Andre and Jan thanked Jamie for speaking with them and left the shelter. Jan sat in the Yaris and put both hands on the wheel. She turned to Andre, who was already buckling his seatbelt, and gave him a look of exasperation. Everyone we speak with says this Munson guy seemed nice. There's not really any evidence to say otherwise. What do you think? Come on, Jan. People say serial killers seemed nice before they were caught. I know. I'm not convinced. We need more information. Maybe we should talk to that Case guy, Andre said. Right. So how do we find him? That's the $100 question. Actually, that was a $50 question. What? Shut up. Jen disengaged the parking brake and turned on the engine. She checked over her shoulder to make sure no cars were coming, then pulled out. A black SUV screeched past the front bumper, narrowly missing a head-on collision. Before coming to a full stop, a man with no eyes stumbled out. Sam blinked repeatedly at the sight of green fields rushing past. The movement was disorienting. The twang of a steel guitar and a hum of tires on asphalt were droning on in his head. He looked to his left and saw Case looking at him aghast. Case's eyes darted from Sam to the road and back again. After a few more calculations, in which he tried to reconcile the sum of Sam, Case pulled to the side of the highway. He put the SUV in park and slumped in a huff against the steering wheel. Where the hell? Where the fuck did you come from, man? What did you do to your face? Technically, Helping Hearts Shelter. My face? I don't know. How did you get in here? Wish I could tell you. Tell me you didn't do what people are saying you did. Case said. He raised his head off of the steering wheel and looked hard into Sam's eyes as he spoke. Case looked hurt more than anything, like he'd been betrayed. Sam felt guilty for that look. Case, you know me better than anyone. I couldn't have possibly done this. I don't even like handling raw chicken. How could I murder someone? I don't know, but you fooled me before. What the hell does that mean? This is a nightmare. The worst one yet. Case, I'm telling you the absolute truth. What happened then? How did these cops die? They wouldn't even let me near the room, you know. Everyone who went in there could smell it. Word got round. If you say you don't know, I'm gonna smack that ugly forehead off you. I'm telling you the truth. How can I prove it to you? How? I woke up like this. I didn't even know the cops were dead until people started saying I killed them. And smell? What the fuck? I was in bed and half a second later I'm laying in a snowbank. Case nodded. Then he looked away into the stretch of highway. Snow was piled high on the ditches on either side. Cars and tractor-trailers drove by in a constant rumble. Case turned the key, put the SUV in drive, and merged back onto the highway. Where are we going? I'm taking you to my place. We need to talk this thing out. Here, put these on. Case placed a pair of sunglasses in Sam's hand. What are these for? Said Sam. You're gonna put those on because whatever is going on with your face is freaking me the fuck out. They drove for a couple of hours. Sam got the feeling Case was delaying going home. Sam spent the time talking through everything that had happened. Case just listened. His hands gripped the steering wheel tighter with every part of Sam's story. All right, that's it. Case finally said. What is? I know how you're gonna prove to me you're telling the truth. How? You're gonna show me how you just got in this truck. Case, I don't even know how it happened. How could I show you? Well, you're gonna try, aren't you? Again, how? Said Sam, perplexed. What were you doing? How were you moving? Did you have a running start? What were you thinking of? How did it happen? Did you click your heels together? Think. Then it clicked. Sam had been thinking of Case before he found himself in Case's SUV. In the hospital bed, Sam had been thinking of snow getting in his boots. Sam thought it still didn't make sense, but at least he had a place to start. I was thinking about you, Sam explained. I wanted to call you as soon as I got there. I did call later, but you didn't answer your phone. I heard sirens. They were coming for me, apparently. And I kept thinking, if Case was here, he could explain it to them. That's when you showed up here? Yeah. Well, let's try it then. Show me. This is so stupid. Where am I supposed to be going? My house. Sam didn't bother to argue. When Case wanted something, it was best to just comply. Sam tried to clear his mind and focus. He tried to envision Case's house. His wife's car in the driveway, pink buckets and shovels in the sandbox in the backyard. But it was no use. I can't. I don't know how this works. I don't even know if it's real or if I'm asleep. Just try. Sam's mind went back to the shelter and to Jamie. He remembered the look on her face. He gripped the handle above the glove box. He focused on the outside of the shelter. He put every detail he could think of into his mind map. And he didn't move. He thought of how Jamie made him feel. Her smile, her lack of judgment, her genuine kindness, and the guardrails on either side of the SUV faded and grew into 5-story brick apartments. The SUV barreled down a 2-lane side street. Case hit the brakes and swerved to miss a small red car pulling out from Helping Hearts. The SUV skidded sideways and stopped. Sam, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was thrown into the corner of the dash, striking the side of his face brutally on the passenger window. Without thinking, Sam fumbled for the door handle. He took a pair of shaky steps out of the vehicle. "Is everybody okay?" Case came scurrying from the other side of the SUV, a look of genuine shock on his face. Sam sank to the street and sat holding the side of his head. He watched through red vision as the other driver and passenger exited the hatchback. Case walked to them. "Everyone okay?" "No," Sam said absently. The driver of the car and the passenger were both fixated on Sam. "Shit. Sam, I think it's time for us to get out of here." Sam could sense a change in Case as disbelief faded. "You bastard," the driver said. The words came out in a guttural bleat that seemed unnatural coming from the young woman. Sam stood. She was looking right at him. The passenger's eyes went from the woman and back to Sam. He pulled out a cell phone and trained it on Sam. "It's him, Jan," he said. The woman ignored the comment and continued to stare at Sam. Case, seeing everyone was clearly okay, finally turned to walk back towards the SUV. Case went to Sam and steadied him on his feet. "You killed her," the woman said. "You bastard." "Jan, come on, let's go. Let's just go," the passenger pleaded. "I didn't kill anyone." Sam's booming response echoed through the empty street. Case directed Sam to turn back to the SUV. They both whipped their heads around toward the hatchback when they heard footsteps galloping toward them. The woman brushed past Case and tackled Sam to the side of Case's vehicle. Case went to intercede but was held back by the passenger. All the time he kept the cell phone trained on Sam as the driver flailed wild punches at him. "You son of a bitch! You killed my best friend!" A solid punch landed squarely on Sam's forehead, splitting it open. Case and the passenger gasped in unison as flashes of red sparked from the wound. The woman continued to punch. Sam's forehead cracked, shattered apart into dusty chunks and fell away. The natural contours of Sam's face returned, but in place of eyes were two glowing red orbs. "That's enough," Case said. "Get off him." Case took a step towards Sam, but again the passenger gripped his shoulder tightly. Case brushed the hand away with ease and bent to pull the woman off of Sam. As he did, they dissolved, and there was nothing but the road. Whoa, what the fuck?" the passenger said. "Shit, who was that? Who the hell are you?" Case said. "What the fuck just happened?" "Answer me, you," Case said. He didn't bother to finish the sentence. He grabbed the passenger by the collar. "Who are you?" "Reporters. We're reporters. She's Jan McKenzie. I'm Andre Murray. With the Chronicle." "What's she talking about?" "Munson. You know he's wanted, right?" "Questioning. For questioning, you dumb shit. He didn't do anything to those cops," Case said. He was suddenly sure of it. "Then what the hell just happened? Where did they go?" The passenger still had his cell phone in hand. "Tell me you didn't just film that." "You bet your ass I did." Case snatched the phone from his hand and scrolled through half a dozen pages of apps. "You're gonna delete that video." "Can't." "You will," Case said. He tightened his grip on the passenger's collar. "I can't. It was live. It was streaming." And that's all for episode 16, chapter 20 of No Evil. If you're enjoying the podcast, let us know what you think in the comments. Give us a like, a share, an oddly shaped pear. Do all those social media things. Become an escapist by subscribing and clicking the bell. And you know what else you can do? You could follow your father's diary to the tomb of a legendary knight who was searching for the Holy Grail, but when you get there, the tomb's full of rats, so you pull out your etch pad and take a rubbing of the engraving only to find out the secret all along has been avescapes. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the next escape.